Violent suspects could go free if officers aren't backed up by members of the public, says the head of the Police Federation. And he doesn't mean violent suspects that commit crimes against the public, of course. No, they can quite happily go free because the police haven't got the resources to catch them, have they? No, what this overpaid union rep is talking about is the most favoured class of victim in the country, police officers. And if you aren't willing to offer yourself up as a human shield if you encounter one taking a kicking, then there's clearly something wrong with you. Yes, you old granny with your tartan shopping trolley, and you teenage boy filming on your mobile phone, and you fat bloke with your 12 chins and your heart condition. Oh wait, that's the head of the Police Federation, Ken Marsh, who also says, we don't come to work to get assaulted, despite the fact that A, he isn't a police officer, and B, the public don't go to work to get assaulted either. But ironically, we the public stand a significantly higher chance of being unlawfully assaulted by them, the police, than they do by us. But anyway, only the cowardly would tell you to keep your distance if you see Plod getting a kick in. Well, the cowardly and the Assistant Commissioner of the Met Police, who advises against the public getting stuck in unless they can safely do so. Well, apart from the obvious threat to your own safety, I can give you 5 other reasons why helping the police in a fight is a very bad idea. Number 1, you could get sued. If the police have a reasonable suspicion someone has committed an offence, they can use the necessary force to arrest them and enjoy a relative immunity from being sued. You do not share the same luxury, however. If you leap on someone to make a citizen's arrest and it turns out they didn't commit an offence or they're acquitted at court, then you could be held liable for battery and false imprisonment. And how far do you think the police's gratitude at you saving them will stretch? All the way to county court to pay your legal bills? I don't think so. Number 2, the police are weaponised. You may have noticed that the police are specially equipped for confrontation with the sort of hardware you would find yourself doing hard time for if you were caught carrying it. They have stab vests, extendable steel batons, incapacitant spray, handcuffs and body-worn video to evidence everything that happens. Some of them even carry tasers. They also have an emergency button on their radio that will summon up an army of Plod should the going get rough. What do you have in a violent confrontation except your own raw courage? And don't even think about hitting someone with a blunt object or putting them in restraints, because that would most likely fall outside of reasonable force and have you up on charges for assault from the very same people you rescued. Number 3, the police are trained. Yes, the police undergo specialised training in self-defence and how to restrain people. So they say, although you wouldn't believe it to watch them in action. Here's a video somebody sent me recently of 6 police officers trying to detain one teenage girl. Although it appears to be nothing more than a badly organised scrum hosted by officers terrified of doing themselves harm. This is why they always factor out any potential danger, no matter how slight, with a massive show of force. This kind of scrum can often result in broken limbs and sometimes fatal suffocation of the detainee. If you aren't a police officer and something goes hideously wrong, you could find yourself charged with manslaughter or on the receiving end of a wrongful death suit. If you are a police officer and your negligence proves fatal, that's okay, because no officer in the history of policing has ever been successfully prosecuted for the wrongful death of a member of the public. Number 4, you don't know who the agitator is. This to me is the best reason I need not to assist. I wouldn't pitch into police versus suspect battles for the same reason I wouldn't interfere with 2 strangers going at it in the street, because I don't know who the agitator is. Just because somebody is losing a fight doesn't mean he's the victim.
If you keep filming me, I'll seize it. If you're going to make a complaint, I'll seize your act.
How many videos are hosted on this channel showing the police as the aggressors, attempting to illegally detain someone who's done no wrong?
Until I know that everything's legit.
Everything is legit.
Give me your hand now.
Oh!
If the police exceed their powers, then the person on the receiving end of it has every right to fight back. Do you honestly like the idea that you could be pitching in to help the police brutalise someone who maybe did nothing more than film a police officer in the street? And the police's people skills as lacking as they are, it would be a fairly unsafe bet to assume that they're always the victim and never the aggressor. Number 5, the police are insured. If a police officer is injured as a result of negligence, an accident or assault in the line of duty, a compensation claim is likely to follow. And that's something police employees excel at, because they sure as hell don't brush it off as an occupational hazard. Personal injury lawyers take out full-page adverts in the police's in-house magazine, searching for potential claimants. And it's not just serious injury they're after. Officers are encouraged to sue for anything that's likely to secure a settlement. From flea bites to falling off a chair, no injury is too petty for our tough guy police. Of course, the biggest payouts are reserved for the Hurt Feelings Brigade, where you can expect huge rewards for colleagues that taunt you, call you names, or bully you. Such as Chief Inspector Adrian Denby, who received an £870,000 settlement from police funds because he was bullied out of his job by his sexist chiefs. Compare that to the few £1,000s you'd be lucky to get if the police physically assault you in the street. Despite all this and the low opinion the Police Federation has of us, rescuing people from danger and going up against violent criminals is not a preserve of the police. Members of the public routinely place their lives on the line to rescue others from danger without being paid to do so. If the police believe that the public are less willing to save them than they are each other, then maybe it's time they took a long, hard look at just why so many of us are highly mistrustful of the thin blue line.